Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks.
Bumps.
And Bruises. Well, we're hanging out here on this time of the year where we celebrate Valentine's Day.
The love month.
The love month. And I'm just going to get this out of the way. First thing.
You love us?
I don't like Valentine's Day.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I love y'all.
That would have been a nice start, wouldn't it?
Really?
I do love y'all, and I'll give you a candy heart. Don't worry.
Thank
but
you.
I just am not a big...
Forced love.
Yeah, it just seems so forced. It's so commercialized now, and
It's not genuine.
Valentine's Day should be every day, right?
It should, and I understand what you're saying, but we do really love our spouse. We don't always share it, and so I
true.
think
So
it is
that
a
day
good time
you're
to-
forced to do it. So that's always
Totally
a good
right.
thing.
But I think it is like, okay, Jake, I love you, and you know this, but here's a day to really tell you because I don't say it enough. I love you. And in 364 more days, I'll tell you again. So, it is just kind
And
of...
Hallmark profits.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And the florist and the candy stores.
Yeah,
All
it's
profit.
yeah.
I want my chocolate.
Gabe, I think, agrees with me.
Oh, absolutely. And what you going to do with a 5-foot stuffed teddy bear
It's going to be at Goodwill week
or
later.
the county landfill?
Yeah, never understood the big stuffed animal things.
No.
But
It's just there's so much about the day that's just super cheesy. Some things are fun, like if you have some traditions, things you do, different restaurant or whatever, that's fine. But for the most part, just,
Somebody
go
sitting
on.
amongst us makes pepperoni roses.
right?
No, well, that's one. There's a fun tradition that my wife and I have when we started dating. The Valentine's Day, the year that we were dating, I was trying to find some fun things for us to do. Because, when you're dating, you put a lot more thought into things like that.
Right.
Once you're married, you just,
Let it go.
overlook it. And I found where you can make pepperoni, like pretty much pepperoni rolls, pizza rolls, but make them look like roses with the pepperoni pieces sticking out the top like the rose petals. We made those, watched a movie, had a nice time. And then now, since we've been married, that's something we still do.
Every
And then
Valentine's?
Every Valentine's Day, we make those. That's going to be our supper, our pepperoni roses. And then our son now, of course, takes part in that with us because he's home with us, and we make roses.
Do you and your wife buy each other Valentine's cards?
No, we're
But
not
you
card
do
people.
that.
We're not card people.
We've stopped, my husband and I have stopped that.
No, we're not card people.
You still do cards, Candy?
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, that's sweet.
I'll
That's
take
fine.
that back.
But
On his birthday, I do get him a card because that's like his day, and
we do birthday cards, and I get her a Mother's Day card. She gets me a Father's Day card.
I do get a Mother's Day card
because it's that day
Father's
is
Day card.
yours, and that day. Okay,
I
we
just
do
meant
that.
like
but the
other
day, the
holidays.
one day on the calendar for everybody to say I love you and to show how much that person means to you, you don't find it a necessity to get a card?
No, because
No.
they usually get something else, like he does the
Pepperoni rolls.
roses. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, it is fun. It's something we do
Or I'll
together. Well, we
cook
buy
his
each other
favorite
candy.
meal, and we've talked about it. He says, please don't spend money on a card.
I say that too, but I don't mean it when I say
See,
it.
that's the thing about a lot of women. They say one thing, but they really mean another.
Oh,
Do you
you
know
want-
that, Gabe?
Oh.
You
Always-
want me to pack a lunch if
Buy
you want
the
to try
gift.
to unpack that
Always buy the
topic.
gift.
Have mercy, y'all. Just say what you mean and mean what you say. How's that so difficult?
Because we don't want to ask for it. We
Sorry,
want
I'm
you to
off
do it for us
topic.
anyway.
Maybe we'll revisit that later.
That's possibly another whole podcast.
As the only dude in the room, let's revisit that later.
Well, I've got some fun would you rathers. You know how much we love those.
Oh yeah, those are fun.
All right, so I'm gonna give one to both of you. Think about this one.
Okay.
Would you rather, for Valentine's now, this is all related to Valentine's Day, would you rather have a fun new experience together, like you do something new for the first time together, or get a gift that you've been wanting for a while
Gift.
for Valentine's Day?
Experience new stuff.
Okay.
Gift.
Your love language is gifts, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think
Unless
so,
it's
but now I do.
changed. I thought it used to be.
Well,
Sometimes I think they change as you get older and you've been married longer.
It can vary. Yeah.
I mean, we do, like, Jake and I do things together a lot. So I would rather create an experience like on March 20th and like on a day that you can actually get an item, maybe get something I've been wanting.
Well, especially, I would rather do the gift too if it's something together for the house.
Yeah.
Like something to make the house better,
Yeah.
or something. But
And
Yeah.
my love language is
Food.
well
yes.
that too is quality time.
Oh, yeah.
So that the older I get, the more and more I realize how valuable our time is.
That's right.
So that is something I interpret that and try to do that as well. That's the way I show that is let's spend time together. Whether it's a friendship or a relationship like that, like let's spend time together, and that's how I can show you mean something to me.
Yeah.
Because time is very valuable.
I agree with that. All right, this is a quick one. Candy, would you rather get a box of chocolates on Valentine's or flowers?
Flowers.
Gabe?
Do you even have to ask me?
Me either.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love flowers.
All day, every day.
I thought you liked flowers. They're so
I
pretty.
would rather
and-
really not.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose between chocolate and flowers,
Right.
chocolate all
Every
day
time.
long, every day. All right. Would you rather stay in for Valentine's Day and cook a meal kind of like Gabe and Leslie do, or would you rather go out for Valentine's Day? I'll ask you that, Candy.
Out.
You'd rather go
Because
out.
we don't get to do that a lot. And I know that if we stay in, we say we'll do this, but then we'll just wind up
And you still
not
have the kids.
celebrating. Yeah, and you got
You know what I
kids,
mean?
and then
It's
you got to
usually-
wash
yeah.
the dishes and
Yeah.
go out.
All right, Gabe, would you rather have Leslie read you a love letter that she actually wrote you?
Oh,
Like she sat down and wrote you something
He
that
is
lets you
rolling
know
his
how
eyes.
much you mean to her? Or would you rather have her do something for you that means I love you? Like if
Acts of service, you mean like
yes,
that's
like if
yeah.
you went home and she had mowed the yard.
cleaned your car.
I would love to see my wife on a lawnmower. I choose that.
See, I am so, my number one love language is acts of service. If I go home and the dishwasher is unloaded and the house has been vacuumed, that is the greatest.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I love that. So I definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the last one, would you rather plan your Valentine's date together? Like let's do this and let's do that. Or would you like to just get surprised with that date already planned for you already? So I guess surprise or no surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah.
I take a surprise. Oh, yeah.
I would too. And you know why?
Why?
Because that means he had to take the forethought
And the initiative.
Yes.
and the initiative
Which
to
means more
plan
than the actual
something
event.
without me having to prompt it in any way.
Very sweet.
Tip of the day.
Do something.
Doing something without being asked is huge,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion. So those are some fun would you rathers. All right.
Okay, so I want to move to another question. If you could relive one experience that you have shared with your spouse, what would it be? Gabe?
Our very first Christmas that we were married, Leslie took the initiative, planned something without me. She just said, you need to take this day and this day and this day off work and trust me. I said, okay. So I did it. And for Christmas, she surprised me with plane tickets to New York City because she
Wow.
knew that I wanted to see the Christmas tree at Rockefeller. So we went after Christmas because that's the only time we could afford it. She found out what days that when they took the tree down. So when the prices drop on everything, but the tree was still up. And that was such a fun trip. I love my son, but it was before he was born. It was just the two of us. We still had a lot more energy then. So we went and did all the sites. I'd never been in New York City. And that was a really, really great surprise
fun.
and such a fun experience. So I would relive that trip to New York City.
What about you, Melody?
I'm just going to tell you the first thing that popped in my head was giving birth to my daughter, our first child together, and that going home together after leaving the hospital, and you're just
Terrified?
now- you're a little terrified. You're a little terrified, but you're now a family.
You're just happy.
Like when
There's
you
a whole
left
new
the
happiness.
house, you were a family of two. When you come home, you're a family of 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just that joy, the joy of that beautiful baby that you just cannot even believe how much you love.
that you're going to have forever. Like
Yeah.
you're
So
always
that
gonna
that
be
was my
around.
first, I thought of some trips and things, but that was like actually my very first, I just remember that feeling of joy.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be. What about you?
Our honeymoon, my husband and I went to a water park, like an indoor water park.
Only Candy Payne and Jake Payne would plan a honeymoon at a water park.
Somebody gifted us with this honeymoon.
That's so
and
funny.
it was so precious. And I was so excited. It was an indoor water park in the mountains, and it was just, we goofed off and had so much fun. And I go back and I look at those pictures, and it was just so much fun. I felt like just teenagers again.
That picture, there is a picture of Candy and Jake on their honeymoon at that water park, and someone took it for them because their hair is wet. They're still in the water, and they're like standing up in the water or whatever. And that is what I was talking about with me a while ago. Joy. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That look on your face with him was
Pure
just
joy.
There's so much happiness there.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Okay, so this is going to get a little deep, and you might have to tell on yourself a little bit, but what is one way that you could improve your relationship with your spouse? Do you want me to answer for y'all?
Yeah, if you want to know the truth of that, ask your spouse.
Yeah, really.
I would, for me, which is funny because we are in communications, I would say communication. Because of our limited time together, I leave the house before the rest of the house is woken up, and I get off work earlier, so I'm able to spend time with my son. But then my wife doesn't get off work and home until 6 or after in the nighttime. So it's like, all right, we're home now. Let's cook supper. Let's do this. We've got other stuff going on. It's time for bath time for Tucker, get him in bed, and then you're exhausted, and then you start it all over again. And I know that's not unique to us. Every family has limitations, but we just don't get a whole lot of time, just us. And then other than that, I mean, we're recording this, and my wife and I are texting each other about something that normal families could talk about over supper, but if we don't talk about it through text right now, it's not going to get taken care of. So our communication could really, for me, to be more available for that could really use some help.
I think for me, even after I've been married a lot longer than you guys, and it's still, you can't change a spouse. If you ever get married thinking you can change them, big mistake, right? So you marry them and accept them as they are, but there are just still some things that drive me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
There's still things, you know, but it doesn't mean that he's doing them wrong. It just means he's not doing them the way I think he should do them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It's him
That's
being
so
him.
funny because that is exactly mine.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's to not. It's the way that I can prove is just to let him be him and not trying to make him something he's not. I am let's sit down and discuss our day and tell me every single detail. Like, what did your boss wear to work today? Where did you eat lunch? You know, and he is just, when he gets home, he's worked so hard and he just wants to sit down and just chill.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk. Well, you must not love me then. If you don't want, do you not want to know what my boss wore to work today? Do you not want to, you know, that doesn't mean that he doesn't love me. I think when we were first married, I took that as he just doesn't
Don't care.
He doesn't care. Yeah. Why don't you care? And he's like, I totally care. I just don't care about those details. I love you, and if there's something like you would like to share with me, please do. But you know, I'm just not one that's gonna ask every single detail, and so that is still something I struggle with. I'm like, he didn't say this when he should have, or he didn't tell me that. So I still struggle with that constantly.
Yeah, I would venture to say that probably most couples have a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are, because of Genesis chapter 3, Gabe, we are a selfish people most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want things our way, when we want it, how we want it, you know, all that. And so just let your spouse be who they are, because you married them knowing that.
Right.
So at some point that wasn't an issue. But as we go through each day, we get a little more selfish.
And like we don't do things that bother.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. If this were reversed and we were asking our spouses this, you know.
I wouldn't want to hear it.
Right.
No. Okay, I want you guys to share with me one new experience that you would like to share together with your spouse this year. Something you've not done, maybe a class you want to take together, maybe just a part of your relationship you'd like to work on.
I think after COVID, we could all say, could we just go out of the house?
Yeah.
No.
Could we go out of the house without a mask
Can I get on an airplane and go on the next adventure?
and not worry that in 3 days I could be sick?
Right.
You know, I think it would be to just live, for me, to get back to living a normal life, even though I'm not sure that will ever happen again. But just to have that experience again of carefreeness, you know, not having to forethink everything you do wrapped around one particular thing. This is fun. Gabe,
Okay.
the moment you knew you loved her.
Oh, goodness.
I can answer that for you.
Melody's part of
Melody
that
knew the
story.
moment. She was there. I remember her saying you were there when you knew he loved her.
Oh, 100%. But I think he had not really accepted it yet.
You knew it before he did.
Let me preface that by saying at that time I was 26, 27 years old. And honest to goodness, I had never been in love before. People say that all the time. I always got on my nerves, even in high school.
But you
People
really
like, oh,
hadn't.
love. Like, no, you don't. You have no clue what love is. Stop being stupid. No, you do not. You do not. I had never, ever in my life been in love. I truly had not.
Yeah.
I've been in like extreme like,
Yeah.
but that's it. So I didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
And it was physically visible. Like Melody walked by the room. She's like, Gabe, what is going on with you?
I'll never forget it. I'll never
That's so
forget it.
I didn't
Because
know what to do. I was like, I just never experienced this before. I don't even know how to talk about it.
Well, first of all, this one is not
Quiet.
loud.
And I'm never speechless.
So, I mean, he is, you always know when Gabe's in the building. right? And so he is sitting in this room all by himself. And I walked by. I remember walking by the room and then backing back up.
I remember it distinctly.
Because he was sitting at a table in this room just staring.
Contemplating life.
Just staring into space. And I went, Gabe.
I love Melody.
She knew.
I said,
She does. She
you're
knows
in
things.
love with her.
I'll have to say, I think, I can't, maybe my best friend Ryan, but other than that, you might be the first person that I physically said those words. Yes, I am in love.
Yes.
It was you, Melody. You are part of my story.
So obvious. It was so obvious. So sweet, though.
Yeah.
All right. What was, Candy? This is a great one for you because you got to know Jake for this. But the first time you ever met Jake, what was your first impression?
Oh, he was so handsome. His smile, he still to this day.
Oh, that's
8
funny
years
because
later.
when I met him, it was goofball.
Well, oh yeah, that came right after the smile. But no, he would. First of all, he's 6'5".
Yes,
so
he's so
really
tall.
And I just he smiled, and I was like, oh my word, because he's just beautiful, beautiful smile. Always has had one. Still to this day, that's my favorite thing about him.
He does have a great smile.
Does.
He really does. Gabe, your favorite feature of Leslie?
I will say this about my wife. She has such a great laugh. Y'all know me. I love to laugh. Laughter is just top notch. I love it. And you can go look on my desk right now. My very favorite photo of my wife to this day. She's pregnant with Tucker. It was taken right before our baby shower. And she is holding her belly. And she has the biggest smile on her face. And I remember that photo being taken. She is she's like just, you can
Belly
just
laughing.
tell she's laughing with her entire body,
Yeah.
like whatever it was. And that's my favorite photo of her because I can hear that photo. Like when I look at that photo, I can hear her laugh. And she has a great laugh. Even last Sunday in church, the preacher said something really funny. And she just let out this, just a quick high-pitched laugh. And my buddy texted me from the other side of the room. And we're not in a small church. And he said, I heard Leslie's laugh over everyone else's.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So her laugh is great.
That's
I love
cute.
it.
And Candy, I guess for you, it would be like Jake's smile. You've already mentioned that. Is that your favorite feature of
It is my
him?
favorite feature of him. Yeah, it's his smile. My favorite ever thing about him is his forgiveness and his oh my word. But yeah, his smile, I could just look at it all day long. Thankfully, I get to. Most of the
Yeah,
time.
you do.
I want to know what you for Gary, because Gary has a lot of, he's just a good man and a lot of great qualities.
Yeah, Candy told me that if I ever left him, she would take him.
This was before,
Oh,
But this was before she got
I'm not aware
married.
of this.
before I got married, and I first met her husband, and I'm like, oh my word. First of all, they're completely opposite in the fact that he is so quiet, so gentle, and
And that would be the feature that I love the most about him is that
Really?
he's just a gentle soul. Mm-hmm. He's very kind,
very kind.
and that would probably be mine for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, let's end the podcast with some fun trivia about Valentine's Day. Y'all, how many Valentine cards do you think are sent each year? I'm going to give you a multiple choice question here.
It'd be 2 more a year if me and Leslie did it.
500 million, 1 billion, 2 billion, or 10 billion cards.
Is a gazillion an option?
Did
Is
I
a
say
real
that,
thing?
Candy?
No. 10 bill. I mean, I
Do
would.
you know what multiple
10
choice means? Do you know?
How well did you do on the SAT?
I'll go with your last one. 10 billion, which is the most.
The answer is always C.
If you take the SAT and just do C, you got a chance.
You're bound to get it.
The Greeting Card Association estimates that approximately 1 billion
That's
Valentine's cards are sent worldwide. That's not just the United States. That's worldwide each year, making Valentine's Day the second largest card sending holiday of the year behind
Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What percentage of flowers purchased on Valentine's Day are red? Would it be 69%, 76%, 83%, or 94%?
83.
100%.
Not a choice, Candy.
76.
struggling here,
I'm
isn't she?
going with 76.
Close. 69% of Valentine's flowers are red. All right, so who created the first Valentine's Day box? Is it Russell Stover, Louis IV, Richard Cadbury, or Milton Hershey?
Cadbury's the Easter guy, right? The Cadbury egg.
Mm-hmm.
I would think Russell Stover.
That's what I'm going with too. Russell.
Actually, John Cadbury.
The Easter egg man?
Yeah, he opened a tea and coffee shop in 1822 in England and expanded that into chocolate. And then they come up with Cadbury chocolates, and they did the actual world's first heart-shaped box of candy.
I'm very disappointed in myself because that seems like one of those random pieces of
You should
information
know.
I would have caught on to somewhere. But okay, well, there you go.
This one is easy. You should know it. What do the X and O's in XOXO mean?
Hugs and kisses. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know which one means
Hug,
which.
hug, kiss,
but-
kiss.
What
Yeah,
ki-
which one does mean
Yeah.
what?
What means what? Does the X mean hug?
Kisses is X. O's is the hugs. What continent produces the most roses sold in the U.S.? What would you think?
North Carolina.
Okay, let's go back to history class.
That's wrong on
And
some
geography.
Wow.
level.
What continent produces the most roses sold in the U.S. on Valentine's Day?
South
Europe.
America.
That's actually right, Candy, because that's the only one she thought of. Don't
think
look,
Europe.
don't look
see
at me
the
like
answer.
she's smart.
I see the answer.
Most roses sold on Valentine's Day in the U.S. are imported from South America, but California grows 60% of the roses
Wow.
sold in the U.S.
That's why they have the
Hence
Rose Bowl there.
Yeah,
Of course, we think of
yes, the Rose Bowl parade. We're in.
we think of sports immediately.
All right, last one. How many U.S. states have a city named Valentine? Like Valentine.
I don't know of any.
Is it 3, 4, 5, or 7?
I go with 5.
3?
The answer is 4. Valentine, Arizona, Valentine, Nebraska, Valentine, Texas, and Valentine, Virginia. Which one would you visit first?
I'd go to Nebraska.
I go to Texas.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Because that's where all the X's are.
all mine are. All my exes live in Texas, and Texas is a place I dearly love.
Happy
to
Valentine's
be.
Day, everybody. We love
All my
Oh, my
exes
goodness.
live in.
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.